Welcome to Max Loves Midland. I'm Wendy Traschen.
Welcome back to the Max Loves Midland Show. I'm your tour guide, Kevin LaDuke. And as a reminder, Max Loves Midland is where we exist to align people, information, and momentum around a shared community vision and priorities so that Midland becomes a place people choose, stay, and thrive. And wow, it's definitely feeling like summer out there right now. So I hope wherever you're listening, you're having a good time and you're cooling down. Whether you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, or if you're listening to us on the radio on WSGW, we appreciate you spending time with us. You might also be watching us on YouTube. And if that's the case, make sure you go follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get your content at. Go ahead and head over there and make sure you're interacting with Max Loves Midland. And speaking of summer, my guest today is not just champ, but we are talking about the Dow Championship, and that's why I'm so excited to have with me today Wendy Traschen.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. And Wendy, you are so much more than the director of the Dow Championship. You're a Midland native.
I am.
You're a mother, business owner. I mean, we could go down the list. So we're really excited to get to know you a little bit better. And the Dow Championship is one of my favorite events throughout the summer. And I know it's coming up right around the corner. So when is it?
We're 9 days away.
Oh my
June
gosh.
8th is kickoff, and June 8th through the 14th.
It's going to be an awesome week. I don't think I've missed one yet. It's been a great time every single year, and it seems to get better in so many different ways all the time. And just real quick, for those that are not familiar with the Dow Championship, this is an extremely unique event, and we are so lucky to have it here in Midland.
It is a unique event. It's the only teams event on the LPGA Tour, which means each player teams up with another player, and they come out on for the week, and they have a lot of fun. It is very relaxing for them. They have, a teammate that they can lean on, and they get very energized playing against the other teams. And you see it all during the week, and it's so much fun to watch.
It's such an important event for Midland, also for the Great Lakes Bay region, and really for the state of Michigan and for the LPGA all around. And I just find it so cool when throughout that week, you get to see players interacting with our town. If you go downtown and check out the commons, the streets are shut down. You'll quite often see them walking around with their partners, having a good time, having dinner at our local restaurants. This has a huge impact on us right here in Midland.
It has a huge economic impact, and it's not just Midland, it's all 4 counties.
Absolutely.
And we do a really good job of trying to keep our money local. And the one thing that the players love is that we are so welcoming. So whether they head to Saginaw and have dinner, head over to Mount Pleasant to have dinner, they feel the love of the region. And that's what's important, and that's the feedback we receive.
So cool, and it is so much more than a golf tournament, and that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. And as I said, it's one of my favorite events each year, so I'm excited to have you and Champ with me today. But we're going to talk a lot more than just about the tournament, and I really want to get to know you a little bit better. And you're a Midland native, and you love this place. And a lot of times I'm interviewing folks that have moved here or have some sort of view of Midland from an outside lens and then come here. But really, you're homegrown.
I am. I came here very young. My father worked for Dow Corning. I was born on the East Coast, but I've been here since I've been very little. Went to Plymouth Elementary School, went to Northeast, graduated from Dow High, went to CMU to college, and raised all 3 of my children here. And I now have my son and 2 grandchildren that live here. And Midland is very near and dear to my heart. I love the community. I've owned 2 small businesses here, Bolger and Battle and the Wine Bar, and so very committed to the community and what it has to offer.
It's so cool that we've now crossed paths. I mean, I've worked with Bolger and Battle in the past on projects at the Community Foundation. I used to go to Wine, go out there for dinner, have a drink. So it's just a really cool thing that you and I get to sit down and talk to one another because I have such an affinity for this place, and you've done so much for Midland. And I hope one day people can look back and say, wow, look at the legacy we've all left together and what we've all created, and the next generation continues to carry that on. So as people are going to the tournament here in a couple weeks, what are some of the highlights? What can they expect?
Well, for the first time ever, we are partnering with Greater Midland for their 5K, the Dow Walk Run. And what's interesting about that is a lot of LPGA tournaments have 5Ks, 10Ks that are associated with them. Dow Walk Run is in their 40th year, but because we moved the tournament up, we are able to partner with them. And so that will start the kickoff to the tournament, and we go right in on that Sunday to rock the block. And so we moved that from Monday to Sunday based on fan feedback. They, really didn't want to go home from work, change their clothes, and come back. And it's like 4 to 8 on Sunday. We've got music. Dow Credit Union is our sponsor. We'll have 6 players down there to sign autographs and plenty of activities, and then free food. We're working with all those local restaurants with food vouchers, and they have taken the theme of Rock the Block, and they do things that are very unique and special that Monday or Sunday.
Rock the Block is so much fun, and as someone who lives downtown and walks to a lot of things, I know that day I'm already going to a Loons game, so right after the Loons game, I'm going to be able to pop on down to Main Street, and the energy during Rock the Block is great, and Dow Credit Union has been such a great partner for you guys in that.
They're a great partner for the region.
Yes.
So they do a really great job. And what I love is, just as with other sponsors, we get their feedback and they tell us their ideas and what they hope to accomplish. And we work very well together to try to make that happen.
Elena Gant does a lot of our events videos. So I want to give a shout out to Elena, but I also just want to give a shout out to Dow Credit Union because they're running all these campaigns with the animals right now.
I love it.
Recently, we're at Wake Up Midland, and I texted Elena. I was like, you guys are just blowing the doors off this. This is so cool. So shout out to Elena. And if you're not watching our events videos, make sure you're following us in places, and you'll get to see Elena's face. And the Dow Championship does something that really no other event here I've ever seen do in terms of bringing this level of professional athletes right here. I mean, we have the Loons, we have future Major League Baseball players, but we've never really had a professional golf event in this area, have we?
No. And how lucky are we?
Yeah.
And so when you think about, and this year, Nelly Corda, #1 player in
Big
the world.
time.
We haven't been able to use the Rolex caddy bib in 2 years now. And so I was really happy when the LPGA said, bring out that caddy bib. And I'm like, oh, that must mean Nelly's coming. So we're fortunate. If you follow golf, you'll see these ladies on the Golf Channel, CBS, every weekend. And when you know that they're coming here in our own backyard, it's so special. We love it.
And Midland has a lot of amenities that larger cities have, yet on a much more accessible scale, and many more of them than that communities our size traditionally have. What are some of the things that you think makes Midland a really special place?
Well, take a look at the tennis center. I'm a tennis player, and take a look at how lovely that facility is. And then the fact that they were able to get from the CVB a grant to be able to put on the pickleball court.
Super awesome.
Well, guess what happened 2 weeks ago? Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions, comes up to Midland to play pickleball because who doesn't have this lovely facility? So that's near and dear to my heart. Midland Center for the Arts, what they have done and the renovation that they've gone through is phenomenal. Dow Gardens, Whiting Forest, we've got all those dinosaurs here. Our downtown is so lovely, Greater Midland. So when you look at all of the things that we have and they're so accessible and it's so easy to get to, that is very special, and how lucky are we?
Totally, how lucky are we? And you just had me beaming with pride because I'm thinking about downtown. It's a place where I live, but then also seeing those streetscape amenities that were helped to bring here by the Community Foundation. At the time, I was working at the city and doing some social media on that work. And then you talked about the tennis. Did you say Aiden Hutchinson was in town?
Aiden Hutchinson was in town.
That obviously wasn't a public event thing, right?
No, it was not a public event thing. He had heard about pickleball, and he came up with a friend, and they played pickleball on a Sunday afternoon.
That's so cool. I mean, it's just a short little jaunt for him.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So I hope you enjoy to stay in Midland. If I ever meet him, I gotta say, hey, how was your time at the pickleball courts in Midland?
I know. No kidding.
And we have great amenities, and I'm so looking forward to the Center for the Arts and the Hall of Ideas reopening, hopefully October, November, December, whenever they officially cut the red tape on that. I know Matt Travis is doing an awesome job over there, and we just have so much great stuff.
And the Chippewa Nature Center.
Yes,
Look
absolutely.
at doing the whole maple syrup this spring. That is great. Where can you do that?
I went to my first maple syrup day this year.
Yes.
I'd never done
awesome.
it before. It'd been going on forever, and I just always had something going on those weekends. My fiance and I hike over there all the time, so we were finally like, we have to go do the maple syrup.
Yeah.
So we went and learned how to make it, and it's just its own special thing. And this tournament is just another great thing that we get to enjoy here, not just in Midland, but also in the Great Lakes Bay region and our partners throughout all 4 counties. And you've been experiencing these things for a while, being a Midland native, and I know you've had other work where you've went away slightly, but you've primarily been in the area. So you talked about going to Plymouth. Did I hear you say Northeast, Jefferson?
Northeast and Jefferson. We moved houses in between there. So Northeast, 7th and 8th grade, Jefferson, 9th. and then Dow High School.
So what was your childhood experience like in Midland? How did you feel about it then?
Well, one of the things that has changed so much, and I was thinking about that, is, and my husband always says this, like, how do you know how to get someplace? So with all the construction right now, I've got all these back roads.
too.
Well, when I grew up here, you rode bikes.
Yeah.
And you had a group of people that you rode bikes with, and you rode from in the summertime, early in the morning until, 9 o'clock at night. And so it's an atmosphere where you can enjoy those things. And now you look at the young children and what they're doing and all the coffee shops we have, which that is another thing we're blessed to have. And I just chuckle when I see these kids and they're in there with their phones and drinking coffee. And I'm like, all right, well, it's not much different from me. We had a group of friends, but we just rode around. I think that, we've always had excellent school systems. So it's been great to, I was an athlete. It was great to raise my children are athletes and then see my grandsons here. So I think the community is just it's constantly evolving, constantly changing, but for the better.
This morning, actually, a group of kids from my neighborhood I saw on a Facebook group, because we have a neighborhood Facebook group, and I live in the historic district by the Red Bridge, and they had a bike bus to school. So there was like 10 of them all on their bikes, and they all rode to school. A couple parents went with them to make sure they got there safely.
See, how great is that?
It's so great.
Yes.
We have great walkability. We can utilize our bikes.
That rail trail?
And the rail trail right by my house.
Yep.
It's so great. You can
Yes.
take those walks down to campus, or we even walk to Frick sometimes, or walk down to the Tridge, and now we have the full loop with Founders Crossing. Just so much great stuff. And you've stayed connected to this place, and I'm sure a lot of those amenities have what kept you connected to this place.
Well, because they're so accessible and you can get so involved with them. So it's everything from volunteering to sitting on their boards to, buying tickets, all of that. And that is, everybody. I'm going to encourage everybody. If you have not sat on a board, you need to sit on a
Absolutely.
board. You will learn so much. Not only about that board, but just about governance, how to do business, other things in the community. And so I've really enjoyed that part of my adult life.
So if somebody was visiting the Dow Championship and coming here for the tournament, and you had to recommend one or two places for them to make sure that they see while they're here, what would you tell them?
I would definitely tell them to go to the Dow Gardens in Whiting Forest. I mean, largest canopy walk.
Absolutely.
And those dinosaurs, I don't know if you've seen them.
I haven't seen them yet. I
Oh
know
my
they've been here
gosh.
like a week or two
Yes,
now, so I
and-
need to get out there.
Yes, and we are entertaining one of our groups of sponsors out there, and I'm very excited for it. And so I would recommend that. I think that would be great. I would tell them to go downtown. I mean,
Yes.
that is all blocked off during tournament week, as it is for the summer. Plenty of great restaurants down there, good shopping. I think that would be really great. And the one thing that I will tell you is that we open up Greater Midland Community Center and the Tennis Center for all the LPGA players and caddies. Because LPGA golfers are also pickleball players.
Of course.
And so they will go there. The caddies will go to Greater Midland to work out. So, I mean, it's wonderful to have those amenities here in Midland.
And not only do you guys show up for the community in the region, but also the region and the community shows up for you as well. And I know that this tournament has so many volunteers, over 1,000, correct?
1,200.
1,200. And if people see this before the tournament starts, are you still looking for people?
We are still looking for people, especially on the weekend.
Okay. So if folks want to spend their weekend at the tournament, how do they reach out?
Go to dowchampionship.com. There is a subhead, volunteers. Click on that. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Well, fantastic. And I'm sure this weekend is an awesome weekend for you. And you might be a little bit jealous because some of us get to follow the players all around. I'm sure you're going to be working hard, but I'm sure your family comes out to the tournament, and you still have a lot of family right here in the area.
I do. I am a grandmother. Everybody calls me Grammy. My team calls me Grammy.
Really? How does that make you feel?
Hey, the alternative isn't great. So that's...
You have an awesome team too, by the way.
But a lot of my grandchildren from Atlanta come and they help out during tournament
Really?
week. Both my grandsons that live here do that. My youngest son is an executive chef. He comes back and helps with the tournament. So it is a very family-focused event for me, but it is one of those things that I've always believed that you have to give back to your community. And even as a small business owner, when I owned Bolger and Battle and wine, we gave back to those communities. And I know that next generation of Bolger and Battle is doing the same thing. You have to give back. it's your responsibility. And so it's good for my grandchildren to be able to roll up their sleeves. And it's not always easy work. It is, hey, we need this number of water bottles taken over here, and when last year when it was 99 degrees, that was a hard pill to swallow, but it has to get done.
And I know you were introduced to the tournament through your work with Bolger and Battle. And so I want to rewind a little bit. And even before getting introduced to the tournament, what kind of work were you involved in at Bolger and Battle, and what led you to that space? Because as a marketer, I'm very curious.
Well, in 2019, Bolger and Battle's been contracted into Dow for years.
Okay.
So the tournament director asked for help for the Welcome Center, for the STEM Center. And so those were two things that we embraced. And then we did some work internally for Dow for the tournament. And so I spent the entire week out there, and I thought it was wonderful. I'd never seen so much of the region come together and connect the dots like they did. I've worked on a lot of regional events, but this was so impressive
And
to
just
me.
different.
Yes. And so when Matt Hilliger, who was the tournament director, left the job, Chris Chandler, who was the executive director for Dow at that time, asked me to think about it. And I wasn't really ready to retire from Bolger and Battle yet. But the more I thought about the opportunity, the more I thought about how much I enjoyed that week, I was like, all right, I will pass the reins on and I will embrace this. And I haven't looked back.
And I know that was a tough decision for you to make because you'd been in that space for a while and really kind of perfected that art. So I have a marketing question for you. As technology has changed and as the industry has changed, what do you miss about maybe marketing in the past versus the way it's conducted now?
Well, I'm still pretty old school.
Okay.
And so when you think about marketing, and I know AI has a big effect on it, and I'm not a big AI lover because I do think you need to use your mind.
Yeah.
And I do need to think it's got to be easier than just looking it up. And so for me, it is still like when you think about marketing the tournament, it's like, what's the theme going to be this year? How are we going to do things differently? How can we engage with people more? And that has just been my premise for everything that I've done. And I'm just not going to give it up because technology has changed. Yes, technology makes it easier to do business. But I remind my team, it's like back in the day, if you had to change to something, you faxed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that you just snapped it on your phone and away it went. I believe that you have to really think about that. Yeah. And there's got to be a strategy and a purpose to why you're doing marketing.
Such a tough balance because I definitely understand the utilization of AI, especially when you want to place things throughout the internet or maybe you're trying to reach a different audience segment. But in terms of the actual creativity, I just get so much more joy out of something that comes from the heart and really comes from a space. So even the concept of Max Loves Midland, like we have this cool little sunglass logo here, but it originated as this hand painting from Annie Stout. So Annie did this hand painting, which became the logo, and that means so much more to me.
Yes.
So put that in there and then try and mix them. It's definitely been such a battle in this industry. Like,
yes.
How do you do it, and how do you go about this?
No, easily. And it's interesting because my oldest grandson, he and I had a huge discussion about it because he's in college.
Oh yeah.
And and he was the one that said AI is only as good as what is current. And so when you think about that and you think about putting some things in, and so then we had a little fun, like checking it out. And so putting people's names in and then what came up, and I'm like, oh, this is 4 years old information.
Yes.
But if you didn't know, you'd use it. So I know it's got a purpose and I understand it, but I'm not there yet.
Definitely has to be creativity and how you craft it and bring it together. And
well, and the thing about it is like that, it's the other thing I say to my team every year. I don't want to just rinse and repeat for the tournament. I would be crushed if a fan ever said, I already did that. I already went to the Dow Championship. I don't need to go again. I want to make sure that we have something for everybody and that every year we're bringing something new.
And you are bringing new things this year, and you are bringing some creative things. So I know it's also going to be Champ's second birthday this year.
Second birthday.
So I know that'll be happening this year, but we kind of have some other friends on the course too, don't we?
We do. So we have Beverly and Carter.
Okay.
They are two beverage carts, hence
Fun.
Beverly and Carter. They will be decked out. Those will be for everybody. So we have things within those beverage carts for young children, for teenagers, adults. And we're testing it out this year because I have an idea for next year on how to get our nonprofits involved with it from another revenue generating thing for our nonprofits. And that is just something that is unique and fun. And that, I hope fans will look forward to engaging with both of those beverage carts.
You mentioned our nonprofits, and the nonprofits have such a big part of this tournament that I find to be so unique compared to any other professional events that I've went to. And we do a good job of that in our community too. I mean, the tennis tournament does a great job of incorporating nonprofits as well, but it is awesome to see the big groups, obviously around a Nelly Corda, or the big groups following Alexi Thompson. And that's awesome because they'll both be here this year. But sometimes you see these large groups of supporters of specific nonprofits rallying around teams that don't always have these large crowds following them. And you might think to yourself, well, why is that? Why are these people holding signs? It's because the Team Up event is so important to this tournament.
It is. So we offer a grant to 36 nonprofits throughout the region. We work with the area community foundations and Heather Gallegos from Dow. This year was awesome. We had over 100 nonprofits apply. And so it's heartbreaking to have to pick and choose. But the work that these nonprofits are doing in the region are life-changing for so many individuals. And so we pick them, and then we encourage them to come out and support the athletes. We team them up with the athlete, #teamup.
Yep.
And so that has been so lovely for the athletes too. The athletes ask us to give a little background regarding the nonprofit. And so you'll see the athletes engage with those nonprofits throughout the week. And then we have our charitable give back of 5 nonprofits that have a tent on course, one each day. We also work with the foundations and Heather on who's selected for that. So they get to come out and spend that day in that tent. And the things they're teaching about
Super
not
unique.
only their, what they're doing, but also educating the adults and children in this region is phenomenal.
And I know some of those regional partners might have some animal friends coming
Oh,
with them
we
this
have
year.
one this year, so you need to check out on admissions to the right. There will
Awesome.
be a tent with a very unique nonprofit on Friday of tournament week.
Very cool. So if you're out there on Friday, make sure you check that out. And if you're out there any day, make sure you're engaging with the local nonprofits because they're an important part of the fabric of this community. And we have such great philanthropic support here. So let's make sure we can celebrate those, not just the ones from Midland, but our regional partners and everyone from abroad. So it's going to be a great, great, great time. And the tournament's got so much to offer. And we talk about welcoming those nonprofits into that space. How does the tournament itself utilize itself as a place of welcoming and making sure that it is really a place for all?
Well, take a look at what we do with our veterans program. So veterans are very near and dear to my heart and many other people. And they are my number one phone call. And every year they ask the same questions. Are you going to let myself and a spouse get in for free or family members? Yes, we are. We welcome you with open arms. So we've built a suite. We've made it larger every year. And Kelly is the presenting sponsor of that. So that allows us to do some unique things with our vets. So this year we offer a pancake breakfast the first day of the tournament. We have a chicken dinner, Chick-fil-A. Out of Saginaw, John Cook. He is a retired vet. He owns that business. He will come in with Chick-fil-A sandwiches. We do a little happy hour with them, and then Sundays on Sunday. And 2 years ago, when it was 51 degrees on Championship Sunday, I was like, there is no way these vets are going to want ice cream sundaes. So I worked with Enjoy Bakery, and we did flag cookies. I heard it from the vets. We want our sundaes. So I don't care what the temperature is. They're going to get their ice cream sundaes, and they love them.
Truly is something for everyone. Even just yesterday, I was speaking with my fiance, and she had a Pilates class planned for that day. And
Yoga,
she was excited,
yes.
but then she noticed that yoga was going to be on the green on Saturday morning, and so she canceled her Pilates class, and now she's
Yes.
going to yoga on the green.
So that will be Saturday morning. That's presented by My Michigan Health. We're very excited about that. And then once they get done with that, she will go over and do chair yoga with our vets. And that if you have never seen that, that is amazing because a lot of our vets are elderly. And so to be able to teach them how to sit in their chairs and be able to get some exercise is very special.
And truly, if they want to be there, you're going to make it happen.
Oh, yes. So we provide transportation whenever we can. And we also, once you're on course and if the mobility isn't there, we have carts and shuttles that will take you wherever you want to go.
And now, speaking of transportation, I know that the parking situation's a little bit different this year, and I'm never going to complain about road construction. It's necessary. We have a lot of great people doing a lot of great work in our community, but understanding that it is part of, something you have to navigate leading up to this. I just want to say shout out to your team, because I think I've been hearing for 6-7 months about the parking changes already, and that is really getting ahead of something before it turns into something larger.
Yeah, well, people are creatures of habit.
Yes.
So they know that they've either parked at Midland High or the Dow Diamond. And this year with the construction, which you're right, we only have a short amount of time in the summer, so you've got to get it done when you can. And so working with Nick, the general manager out at the Midland Fairgrounds, has been remarkable.
Love Nick Hall.
What a great guy. And anything we needed, he has been there for us. And it is not that much longer to get from Midland Fairgrounds to the tournament. So I can't say that enough, because I want to make sure everybody realizes where parking is. We will make sure we have signs at both Midland High and the Dow Diamond to just remind people. But thank you for bringing it up, because we can't say it enough.
Fairgrounds are an awesome partner in
Yes.
just about everything. And I just I'm going to have Nick on the show at some point too. Him and I crossed over at Best Buy at some point. He'd be on the headset singing Disney songs and just having the best time ever. He's just such a joyful dude, and just so many great people doing awesome stuff in Midland.
Well, and the weekend before the tournament, he's got an AKC dog show. He's got an equestrian event. He's something with cattle. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Yeah, and this episode will come out after this particular event I'm about to mention, but just this weekend is that giant antique show.
Yes.
It's just such a big thing.
Well, but what another wonderful thing for Midland, that and then the art fair downtown.
Oh, I know. Yeah, this weekend we've got the art. I know. Shout out to everyone who went to these things. Comment in the comment section. But art fair, there's like a lumberjack show in Sanford. There's the huge antique thing. It's another crazy weekend here in Midland.
It's great.
So it's
and
one
nice
after
weather.
another.
We're supposed to have nice weather.
Absolutely. Hopefully nice weather here in a couple weeks too.
Yes.
So we'll be thinking about that. We're talking a lot about partnerships and organizations you're involved in, and it's honestly endless when it comes to this tournament. I'm sure there's some that we will accidentally miss in this conversation, but stuff like Special Olympics and PGA Hope, First Tee of Eastern Michigan. You've got college partnerships. You've got alumni days. You've got stuff for, I'll be out there with Midland Young Professionals on Wednesday afternoon for a luncheon. It really does bring in so many different pieces.
No, and we always look for those opportunities. We have a young woman that's working for me right now that is a college graduate from Grand Valley. And she's a golfer. She's from Argentina. She came here to play golf. And she's like, what can we do with our college athletes? And it's like, that's the next generation of golf. And so she's worked out a whole program with those coaches and those college athletes, and that's great. Alma College called me. What can we do with alumni? We have a lot of alumni in Midland all the way north for the summer. Can we come out? Yes, we'd welcome you with open arms. And then it's like, why are we sticking with just Alma? Let's open it up. Those are all new things for us. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, we want to create as many opportunities for people to experience the tournament as they can.
You can talk about your staff too. I know you have a staff that is
eight core staff,
and primarily women, correct?
We're all women, first time ever.
How awesome. That is super cool.
Yes.
It's a male-dominated space traditionally, and this is a LPGA tournament held right here, put on by a staff of all women, and people watch women's sports. Women's sports are huge. This is amazing. So It's just such a big deal.
Yeah, we're very blessed, and for the first time in 6 months, I've had a full staff. Now, that doesn't mean we don't bring other people here.
Of course.
Because Outlier does a lot of LPGA tournaments, and so my crew from Northwest Arkansas and Dallas will also be joining us, and so we'll be 30 by the time the start of the tournament starts.
So cool. And this tournament is absolutely for everyone. And we talk about that First Tee partnership. And I know that's a big thing that helps get young ones introduced to the sport of golf. How does that partnership take shape with your tournament?
Well, what's great about the First Tee of Eastern Michigan is we did not have a First Tee program within this region when the tournament first started. And so that was really great working with Joe Simpson and his crew out of Flint, because that's where their home base was. And so within the second year of the tournament, we were able to start First Tee in the public schools here. Third year, we went to Saginaw. Then we went to Bay City. Last year, we went over to Mount Pleasant. So all those school districts are hosting First Tee and teaching kids the fundamental about golf, but also more than just that, life skills, manners. And if you ever watch before the Masters tournament and they had the national drive chip and putt contest, when you watch those young men and young ladies go up and shake the hands, the hats come off, the hand comes out. That's all from first tee on what's the polite way to do, how do you address an adult, how do you say please and thank you. So we're a big component of their team, and they help us immensely through the tournament.
It's great, and I know the players love coming here, and I spoke with a player last year at the Young Professionals Luncheon, and they were still carrying a ball marker from a nonprofit that they connected with 4 or 5 tournaments ago, and I just thought that was so special, and they have such a connection to this place, and a lot of that is due to the great tournament that you put on, but also the hospitality of our locals, and I know we have a lot of host families here in the community, and what can we say about those relationships that the players have with those host families?
Well, they keep in contact with them all year long. So that's the one thing, because I hear from the host families and say, oh my gosh, Leona just reached out to me. So I love that for them. And we're in year 7. So some of those families have had those players, excuse me, for 7 years now.
Yeah, and those are so important to keep those relationships around, because some of these players, it gets lonely on the road.
Well, it does get lonely on the road. And so for them to be able to come into somebody's home, have a home-cooked meal, meet their family, kids, grandchildren, dogs, cats, and they travel with their dogs.
Yeah, and for them to be able to bring their animals, have that comfort, and I know some people bring their kids on the road here and there, and it's tough sometimes to bring families because it's expensive.
It is expensive, and they're paying for all their own travel, so that is hard. So that's where we can help. The other thing we do is laundry for them. So we do all their laundry. We are hosting all the caddies and the players for one night for dinner. And then we provide all the transportation. So thank you to Garber. Garber brings all their cars on site. We use it for not only the players, Dow customers, Dow suppliers, and that's great.
So, and we're talking about the players and the time that they're spending here. And I know that a lot of the twosomes have already been announced. We know that Nellie's going to be here. We know our returning champions are coming back. I know Lexi Thompson's going to be on course again. So we're going to be following around some amazing athletes. When can people see the full slate of athletes that will be here?
We will announce the full field next week.
Okay. And I'm sure there's like last second decisions and travel and a lot goes into that.
We have a few other special announcements. So so just stay tuned.
Where should people keep their eyes tuned to?
We will do it as a press release,
Okay.
a media release, but you also will find it on our website, and you'll also find it on the LPGA website.
Very cool. Definitely looking forward to seeing that. I think we're going to have a great tournament week with a lot of faces that people are going to be excited to see in Midland. So it's going to be a really good time. And I know that we have great viewing areas at the tournament. Are they all going to be pretty similar this year? Or anything new that people should know about?
We are doing something with the Fantastic Fairway out 15. We did it the first year, and then we haven't done it. We're picketing fence. We're working with Maple Hill Nursery.
Cool.
God bless Chuck Cervinsky. Lots of Hollywood tables and chairs and sectionals. We've got picnic blankets out there, picnic tables, and then we've Garber Suite, which has always been there. We're making it a 3-tier suite this year. We're using it for programming the first couple of days, and then the lower tier will be available to the public all week long. And so we're very excited about that. So a couple of new places for people to be able to come and sit. And I think you have to remember that along Pondside, Huntington Bank sponsors all those public viewing. So there will be plenty of people with the general tickets to be able to watch golf.
And I know you guys make really intentional decisions about where to put that seating, because when I met with you the other day, and yes, I do meet with guests ahead of time. I don't just stalk Wendy here. So when I met with you the other day, you were already looking at what's going to be happening possibly next year even. So what kind of planning really goes into this, and like how far in advance are you looking? Are you just always thinking forward?
Well, we are always thinking forward, but we know that from a capacity standpoint, we need more suites out on course. So where can we do those? Where can we use existing suites and make them larger? So on Sunday, we had one of our ops person from Northwest Arkansas. So we spent a half a day going and looking at other opportunities on course to put additional suites in. And it's funny, there were country club members, and they're like, what are you doing in this area, as they were playing golf? And I said, well, we're looking at next year. And they looked at me and I said, it's a thing. And during tournament week this year, we will go around in carts and we will take a look at where are pinch points, what do we need to do to change for next year. It's all about the fan experience and how we can create a wonderful fan experience.
Awesome. Anything else about the tournament that you want everyone to know?
I just want everybody to come see us. So, I mean, if you haven't come, please do. It is a wonderful, wonderful way to celebrate the region.
Awesome. And I know the Dow Championship is going to continue to evolve and just look incredible. And, you know, I like to think about the evolution of our community, and we always kind of talk about Midland to end the show out. You have a big passion for wanting to make sure the next group of community leaders can really assist with moving Midland forward. And what are some of your advice for some of us that are looking to move up in the ranks and really continue building this community?
Well, get involved. So when you look at events, how can you volunteer? Get on boards. Like I said, that is such a valuable thing that I did, and I probably have sat on 20 boards. That is important for not only your personal growth, but they need your opinions too. Yeah. They want your expertise of what you're bringing to the table. So I just encourage you to, you know, get involved in your community. Don't just live and eat and sleep here. Get out there and get involved in your community.
Build that emotional connection, because if you care about a place, you're going to take care of it. And that's really what we're about here at Max Loves Midland. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. And, you know, we talked a little bit about some of those places that people should always see. And I didn't put it in the notes, but I want to know from you, if you were planning a day for somebody in Midland, what would you run them through? Where would you send them to? Other than the obvious ones.
For me, we have a lovely downtown.
Yes.
So it's like, you want to go have breakfast, go downtown.
Yep.
We have a brand new restaurant coming in, O's.
So excited.
So excited. I take them on the rail trail. Like, who doesn't want to walk along that river? Tridge. We haven't mentioned the Tridge. Come on, it's so unique. So that is where I would first send it somebody, because there isn't one person that hasn't been in our downtown. And we at Outlier have brought people from all walks of the U.S. here to help support this tournament. And they always say, you are so lucky to have this downtown. So, and I lived for a period of time downtown, and that Tridge, that lights up for all the different holidays, and you can look forward to it. And I always send Sharon a note saying, thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. It's such a good time, and I just love the way it looks down there, and now Founders Crossing too. And it's been so much fun. So looking forward at the future of our community, and you really think about Midland moving forward, what are some of your overall hopes and dreams for this community?
Well, I'd love to see the community continue to grow. More people living here. I know housing's an issue, but we're dealing with that.
Yes.
But I really would love people to embrace this community. And the one thing that I do love is how many people, when they graduate from high school, say, I'm never coming back. And then, gall darn it, they do.
Story after story.
Yes. So for me, there's something for everybody. And, you know, even if your family doesn't live here, your friends become your family. And it's easy to live here. It's easy to work here. And I want people to embrace it.
Fantastic. So just one more time, if anybody wants to learn more about the tournament, where do they go?
DowChampionship.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for being here with me today, too. We appreciate you coming along for another episode of the Max Loves Midland Show. We do these pretty regularly, so make sure you're checking us out. Head over to YouTube, subscribe to us if you want to watch our full episodes. If you're just checking out our clips, that's great. Check us out on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you like to get your content. If you're listening to this on podcast, we definitely appreciate you. Or if you are ever in your car and you say, you know what, I wonder if the Max Loves Midland show is on, check out WSGW. That's 100.5 FM and 790 AM. We're on Saturdays mornings at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. So you got a couple opportunities each weekend to check us out on the radio as well. Head over to maxlovesmidland.com. We've had over 7,500 events posted on that community calendar. That's over 7,500 opportunities for community members just like you to spend some time with someone else. Maybe you make a new friend, maybe you see a new thing, maybe you enjoy some art, some culture, a restaurant, whatever it is. We've got everything from line dancing to cat movie video festivals. So check it out, maxlovesmidland.com. Find your event. And I'd like to appreciate Champ here for being with us as well. Make sure you check Champ out. He's going to be out at the LPGA here very, very soon. What are the dates on that again?
June 8th through the 14th.
June 8th through the 14th. Come out to the tournament. That is at Midland Country Club. Make sure you park your car over at the fairgrounds. If you are not walking or biking, if you can, go ahead and walk or bike. We have a walkable community, and there are so many bikes out there, which always make me happy when I go to the tournament. So as we always say here in Midland on the Max Loves Midland show, if you build a bridge and it doesn't work, just build a tridge. Thank you for being here with us today. Subscribe wherever you consume media. Max Loves Midland is your entertainment, resources, and collective improvement hub for Midland County. Plan your next adventure in Midland at maxlovesmidland.com.